many of you joined us for our live seminar last night, where we dished out most of the information that's probably going to keep you alive over the next 3 months. I hope some of you were there.
Did you do that? Because it might be wise
were you there?
for your own benefit.
It's the only reason we're doing it is for you, so that you stay safe. And if you're not going to bother to turn up to it, then there's only so much we can do.
Mate, honestly, I have got plenty of things. Oh, goodness.
I don't know.
I've got plenty of things I could do.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, God,
Christ.
Yeah.
Christ, what would you normally be doing if you wasn't trying to save the world?
Well, as you know, I am a master to my pubic hair, right? I have brought a razor, a shave. It's an electric thing, you know, the barbers use them.
Yeah.
Believe me, excuse me, believe me, if you're not going to listen, there's plenty of designs I could be fashioning in my pubis.
The Titanic, you like, don't you?
I've done all the design for the new Terminal 5, the third runway at Heathrow.
Yeah,
you can find all that, all the information you need. It's already
in your book you've written.
In my
book that you've written about it.
In my book I've written, but also correspondingly in my pubis.
In your pubis. Because I have a similar topiary hobby.
Yeah.
What I like to do when I'm not doing this and trying to save people's lives and make people safe, thank you, I cut my pubes off as well. Yeah. But I don't, unlike you, I don't use the clipper system. Yeah, I don't use this, right? I use good old-fashioned scissors, right?
Yeah, good.
And what I'll do is I'll cut them off at the roots, chip, right? And I'll lay them to one side, right? And then I'll get my knob and I'll make it go up, right? And then I'll get some PVA glue or whatever you like, any sort of sticky stuff, right? Other glue you could use, Pritt stick, I suppose.
Other glues are available, yeah.
Plenty of other products. And then I'll get my pubic hair that I've laid aside earlier, and I'll make, once it's up and at full stretch, I'll get the pube and I'll just stick them on up the sides, all the way up to the top there, like that.
Why? To look like a Victorian gent.
No, I want it to look. I'm actually trying to fashion it into the Eiffel Tower. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do because it's a similar sort of colour. Okay.
It was wonderful.
I'm trying to recreate the metal design with the pubic hair going up the top of it. All right. That's what I would be doing if I wasn't saving the world. Okay.
And you know, quite honestly, there are worse hobbies you could have. Do you remember when I went to evening classes down near Hatching? They do the College of Further Education.
You went up there. You was up there all the time.
Up there. There's all of the lists on the board. Woodworking you can do. Amateur dramatics and all that stuff. Anyway, get right down to pubic topiary, okay?
Yes. Who's teaching it?
Gary Jenkins. Remember Professor Gary Jenkins? And he worked part-time at Tony and Guy, of course.
Oh, right. And Quick Fit.
So I've gone there Tuesday night. Lovely. Do you want to sit at home and watch it? Who wants to sit at home watching Netflix when you could be designing, as it turned out, by the end of that first term, Sydney Opera House in pubic
hair, right.
All the way round. There's a cock and balls, which sort of destroyed the design a bit. But you have to work with it, don't you? You have to work with it. You've got to work. You know, you can only play the team that's put out in front of you.
That's right.
You can only work
play
with
what's in front of you.
Margaret, I mean, she's not listening now, but some of her topiary, Jesus Christ.
Oh, you went together, did you?
We went together and we thought it was a nice thing to do. She goes, I can't get the hang of it, Barry. She's going, I can't get the hang of it.
And there's something, and you wanted a very specific design.
So I've come home and she's gone to me, well, let's not run before we can walk. Gone, well, look, I'm really going for it. I'm going to go to Sydney Opera House. And I'd heard you were trying the Eiffel Tower.
Eiffel Tower, recreate the metalwork.
The Eiffel Tower. It's a beautiful, lovely cross-cut, beautiful design.
Cross metal
purposes.
That's what it's called.
And so I've gone to her and said, well, look, in for a penny, in for a pound. I don't know whether I can achieve it. You can, but try. She's gone, She can't get off page. She said, I'm going to try a flower. So she's done in her pubis, and she got right down there with the old clippers and that, and she's done it. It was hopeless. It was hopeless. Yeah. It looks more like...
Disgusting.
Do you remember Henry Kelly? Quite a tall, skinny that used to go for gold. Yeah, every time I went down...
Oh, no, that's Matthew Kelly I'm thinking of.
Well, it was not dissimilar to Matthew Kelly, she'd done that on her own way. But the Henry Kelly at the front there, it was half a turn. Every time I went down for Cunty
seconds.
Yeah, seconds down, I was face to face with
him.
Kelly. A hairy Kelly, I used to call him. And I was down there going for goals. I mean, not going for gold.
Nothing. No. Fool's gold down there, mate.
Fool's gold down there. Anyway, I would go down and go, oh Christ, it's Henry Kemp. Jesus Christ, what's going on, Henry Kemp?
And he's going, hello there, how are you, Belgium? Like he used to do on the show.
It didn't look like it.
You're joking.
But it didn't look nothing like a flower. It looked like a middle-aged Irish television presenter from daytime television in the 80s.
Yeah, from the mid-80s. Yes, I know. It's a problem because when I was at that class as well, he was very much focusing on clippers and, taking bits out and all the rest of it. And I said to him, what was his Gordon, wasn't it?
Gary Jenkins, yeah. Professor Gary Jenkins, yeah.
Yeah, Professor Gary, I mean, this is still very well, removing these things, and I understand where you're coming from, and I understand your school of thought and where you learn and all the rest of it, but surely there's another way that we can make this go, because if you have got all this pubis lying around, surely you should use it in your design,
Absolutely right, yeah.
And he says, he poo-pooed it, he says, no, once it's off, it's off. Once it's off, it's off, right? You have to concentrate on what is down there and then discard the rest. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't agree with you. I told him about my Eiffel Tower design, and he said I was nuts to do that. And I said, no, I said, they're not involved. I said, it's just a knob. Yeah, that's right. And then I says to him, all right, well, I'll come back to you next week with something else if the Eiffel Tower hasn't tickled your fancy, and let me know what you think. Anyway, next week I'm down there, and I've got my bowl of discarded pubes, and I got my Brit stick, right? And this time all the stuff I've got left over, I've bunched up into a big ball like that,
I know, pubic ball,
pubic ball, right? And I've just got this time I've got the PVA glue and just put a little dollop of it right on the end. Obviously, it has to get up again. Right. Always gone up, right? And I've got a little dollop right on the end, right? And I've got my pubic ball, and I've stuck it right on the top of it, like that. Yeah. And I pulled my pants down, and I showed him it. I says, Gary, look, this is a Canadian redwood, right? And he's...
And what did he say?
He says, no. Well, he says, no. This is not a Canadian redwood. That is just pubic hair stuck on top of your knob. Yeah. I says, well, you have got no imagination whatsoever, mate, and I want my money back. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And it was not an inconsiderable sum, neither. Well. He's just a con man.
In the end, we went to see him, and I said to Margaret, look, if you really cannot fashion that into something that's representative of a structure, any sort of structure.
Yeah, anything will do. Leaning Tower of Pisa.
I says, get to the start off there, and you've got quite hairy all over, and go all round. She whipped it all off, and snaking all the hair over her body.
Up her back.
And he says, okay, take off your things, let's have a look. And all the class there, she goes, look, Great Wall of China. She goes, Great Wall of China. It snakes all the way down her thighs and up there, and it goes up sort of to her belly button. Great Wall of China. He's gone, don't be so ridiculous. I'm saying, mate,
And you don't set the rules,
You don't set the rules, But he's very,
Who do you think you are?
Very stuck in his way. I mean, he's from the 60s school of...
He's been doing it too long.
Topiary, and he's not open-minded at all.
No, he's been doing it too long. Hey? He's losing his edge to the kids from Berlin and London. He needs to step aside. He needs to step aside. You know, let someone else come through. But you know what these people are like.
You can't send them, can you? Anyway, where did I get onto that? I have no idea.
Well, it's just the things we would be doing if he wasn't trying to save the world. Save the world,
people. But you've got. I mean, you've got to respect the scientists. You know, we get all our information from the scientists.
I respect the scientists. I mean, I respect most of the scientists. Yeah. I respect the science. I know I've seen what Chris Whitty eats. Yeah, and I don't know if I'll respect him so much, right? Because he's a doctor, and he's like, and he says to me, he says, "Angelos, do you want to go out for?" This is when he was like really into me, right? Yeah. He says, "Do you want to go out for dinner, right?" And I go, "Yeah, okay, I wouldn't mind actually. Thank you. Are you paying? Are you paying?" I sent that on the text. Are you paying? Right? He goes, "Yes, all right, I will pay." I says, "Okay." I'm thinking, oh, right, well, it's Chris Whitty, so we'll probably go and have a salad or something, very healthy, right? Well, he says, meet me outside Woody's Grill in Camden, right? I'm going, maybe we'll meet there and we'll go, into town, and go into town and maybe pitch up somewhere nice, I'll put all my good clothes on, right? Anyway, we get to Woody's, he looks at me all coquettishly, like, hello, Angelos. So I go, I says, oh, hello, Christopher. Yeah. He says, I hope you're hungry. And I go, I am hungry, actually, yes. Right. He says, come on in. Yeah. I'm going, what, in here?
Yeah.
He went, yes.
What date is that? Yeah, go on there, what is it?
Right, in I go. And he's obviously, because he's Chris Whitty, he can get in anywhere, right?
Yeah, with a table for two, please.
Yeah, all that, right? No problem, Chris Whitty. You save world, right? And he's like, there's no one else in there, because of what we're going through, right? Anyway, he's got this big table there, and there's all just not tea cloths, but just towels over food, right? Oh. I'm going, what's it? They don't look very clean, them towels. Oh. Right, anyway, he whips up the towels, and it's like plates of doner meat, and onion rings, and chips and that, and I'm going, what are you showing me this for? And he goes, what am I showing you this for? Gets a great big hand of chips like that, shoves it in his gob like that, and just and then pours garlic all over the doner meat, shove that in. And I'm like, you dirty pig.
Yeah, you think I don't respect that scientist for that?
No, it makes me think I don't respect you because of all that muck you're shoving in your gob.
I had the same thing, respect the science. Remember Professor Heinz Wolf?
Oh, yes. Now get out of that.
Oh, now get out of that. Was he on How? That sort of thing with Fred Dunn? Probably so. Back in the day. Professor Heinz Wolf wheeled out
the Great Egg Race. The Great Egg Race.
Yeah. Any of those BBC Two type thing for the kids. Yeah. Professor Heinz Wolf, I got friendly with him. He used to go to my bowls club, in South Oxford.
Yeah. He was on heroin.
Would you like to go out to dinner, Barry? Well, okay, always taught to respect the science.
Yes, respect the scientists.
Love a lot of his work he's done on momentum and the internal combustion engine.
All that stuff.
Anyway, he goes, let's meet up in Ruislip. So Ruislip, they've got a wimpy bar. We're outside the window. I'm thinking,
we'll go on somewhere into town. We'll go into town in one of his leg-powered cars that he's made.
Exactly. He might boil up some water. Add some magnesium or something. And propel us there.
Explode us into town. Yeah.
on the wave machine. Something like that. Yeah. Anyway, sure enough, I'm just about to move on. Hello, Professor Heinz. All right, he goes, come in. I'm like,
call me Wolf, he says.
Call me Wolf. Call me Wolf.
How? He goes, how?
Ooh, no, we're getting there. Hello, can I help you do general... Well, of course, being Professor Heinz Wolf, or Wolfie, as I call it, he can get a table like
that, yeah. That's it. And he can clear the place out as well, because, you know...
Yeah, that's it.
Place to himself.
He sits down and he goes to starter. We had a bit of a... Well, I say starter. It was just some chips while we're choosing. You want some chips? Oh, okay, I'm thinking...
That can't be the food.
Anyway... We're sitting there, and it blinded me with science.
He will do.
Chemistry, this,
Physics,
biology.
Do you know how this table? Do you know how this table is staying to the floor? Glue? No, it's gravity.
Gravity. Tell me all about gravity. Oh my God, my head was spinning with the romance of a wimpy king-size international grill, a brown derby. The myriad delights of science.
It's very alluring. It's very alluring.
It was alluring.
Alluring.
Anyway, I always respect the scientists. Suddenly he goes,
I respect the scientists.
Will you excuse me, Daddy? I must go for piss, right? So, okay.
That's not a scientific term.
Not really.
No.
And so Costas, who runs it, goes, no, toilet bog is broken. Right? So Professor Heinz Wolf is offering up his business. You're saying that the momentum of the stopcock is not acting as a counterlever to displacement of the water.
No, it's broken down.
It's
broken. It's fact.
So, kaput? No, it's facts. Anyway, Heinz Wolf goes, excuse me for one moment, but feel free to choose a pudding, right? So as
that's nice.
I'm like, no, don't sit
nice,
there looking at the white, the laminated
menu, yeah.
I hear the fire doors go out the back, right?
Right. What's going on?
He's totally... all right, the bog's not working. Come outside in the car park, out the back. He's having a shit. Now that is the last time.
And you caught him.
I respect.
And you caught...
What's this?
What is it, buddy? It's only natural.
I used to respect science.
What's going on?
Come out. Get away! Go. He shooed us out of the restaurant.
And I remember you telling me. I remember you telling me that it cost us like shoes Heinz Wolf away, and he hasn't pulled his trousers up properly. So he's running off with all the bog roll hanging down his bum, isn't he?
And that is why I don't respect scientists.
No, I can imagine. It's very uncompromising, that.
Disconcerting. In the current climate, we need these people to step up to the mark, not go for shit in the car park behind the wimpy and rights bit.
Yeah, well, I had the same thing with Magnus Pike, right?
Brilliant scientist. Brilliant Dr. Magnus Pike.
Right, anyway. And I respect the guy. You know I'm always saying how much I respect Magnus Pike, right?
You've got all them pictures in your locker of the
with respect written all over it, right?
And
I go, I respect Magnus Pike. Anyway, he rings me up. He says, Sergius, do you want to go for some food? Right?
It's all
like that. And because he's doing that, right? His mobile phone, he's like Jack Douglas. Right? His mobile phone's going up there. So you're only getting every second word, right? But I got the gist. He's inviting me to dinner, right?
Okay.
I says, Magnus, I respect you and I respect that. I says, I'd like to go to dinner with you. Where would you want to go? He says, we'll go somewhere very, very nice, right? I says, all right, but where is nice, right? He says, well, why don't we go to the Ritz? Okay, I'll go, now you're talking, because Wishy took me to Woody's, right? He went, well, that's just like Wishy. Anyway, he says, I'll pick you up in my Porsche, right, like from the bus stop. Okay.
Right.
I says, all right, go on. I said, I'm very impressed with the fact that he's got a Porsche, right?
Yeah,
and he was very, in TV,
yeah.
innit? Right, so anyway, I'm at the bus stop and he pulls up in this, like, Austin Maxi.
Oh.
Right, yeah. He says, oh, so sorry, my Porsche's in the bin, in the garage, right? I go, okay, well, don't worry. This is nice. This is a nice car. You know, it was a shithole. Anyway, I get in, and he goes, "Come on, let's go!" Right, and he drives me to this like Greasy Spoon cafe, right?
Yeah.
And I go, all right, okay. He says, "Right, out you get." Right, we get out. I says, Magnus, I said, "What is this place?" He goes, "I thought we was going to the Ritz." He says, "Have a look above the door." And it says the Ritz Cafe, right? Okay. I felt like I'd been led up the path, but I said, I like you, Pike, and I respect you as a scientist, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to have some food. Anyway, we sit down at the and he's got you know what he's like. He's only got to click his fingers, right? Cool. And he's got the place to himself, right? Yeah. And Linda behind the counter, she's like, "Oh, hello, Magnus. You all right, love?" And he's like, "Oh, hello, Linda. I'll have the usual table." I said, he's in there all the time. Yeah. And he sits down. He says, "Right, I'm going to order for you." Okay, I says. He says, "You're going to have kidney, liver, chops, peas and gravy and mash, right?" And I'm going, okay, all right. I says, that's not really date food, is it, right?
No.
And he goes, he's going to have the same. Anyway, this pile of slop arrives in front of me, right? And he's shoving it in his face like that, and I can see him just sort of going like this in his seat, right? And I'm going, and we're chatting about science and all the physics and biology, chemistry.
Highfalutin.
Right, well, he's telling me all about the table of elements, right? And I'm trying to get my head around that, and I can see him just squirming in his seat like this, and he's going on about, sodium and magnesium and potassium and all that ion and stuff. And he's just going like this, right? Yeah. And he goes, I said, "Are you all right, Magnus?" He went, "Yeah, I've got something wrong with my ball bag, right?" And I go, "Oh, okay, right." Anyway, in the end, he gets to the end of the table of elements. I said, "I really respect all that. I really respect you as a scientist." Right, he stands up, he puts his hands right down his trousers like that, right, gives it a good old jerk around in there. Yeah. Scratches away, right, God. and this is the kicker, right? He gets his hand out, right, and he gives it a good sniff, like that. Right. And then he goes back to eating his food, and I says,
"That's a deal breaker."
I says, "I don't know that I can respect you no more, Magnus." He said, and then he puts his fork down and goes, "Oh yeah, I know what you mean. That stinks, right?"
Well, it was like this. I went to the scientist. He took me for pie and chips. We went to a Greasy Spoon just the other day. He got the menu and said, "You can have a pudding, Barry, by the way." Then he went down to the bog, pushed open the fire doors.
This is Magnus Wall.
He didn't have no drawers.
Oh, well, that's the scientist for you. And he'll come up with an explanation for that as well, won't he? Why he won't have no pants on.
No, exactly. But,
good for a ball bag.
Yeah, good. What's a body bag?
What's a ball bag? Good for the ball bag.
Now, what's the other thing? Your mate Donald Trump has been wonderful advice.
Good advice. I mean, the thing is about Trump's advice is I've been trying that for years. You know,
what, injecting
myself with bleach and stuff. Yeah. But that doesn't work, by the way. Although I haven't caught nothing, so the jury's out. The jury's out.
And
but I tell you what does work.
Spotless.
Oh yeah, it's spotless. I tell you what does work, right?
Go on.
If you get his theories of light. Now they are good theories, right?
You're right.
Because if you get a torch, right?
Yeah.
And you shove it up your bum, right?
Where the sun don't shine.
Where the sun don't shine, normally, right?
And
you want it to shine up there, and get the torch and you shine it up there, right? And then just turn it on a few times, 3 or 4 times, like that. Bang, on, off, on, off, on, off, right? And then pull it out, like that. My health has never been better since doing that. It's never been better. And I mean, maybe it's a coincidence.
Right.
But, I used to suffer with all sorts of things. But since doing that, clear as a bell.
That's right. But, these alternative therapies, some of them are excellent, aren't they? Absolutely superb. There's a variety of things you can put up your house, if you like, they often talk about roughage,
snooker cue. Right.
Well, a snooker cue. I mean, that would go up there. Changes because of rest. But I mean, what I'd like to do, you talk about, roughage, fibre, dietary fibre.
I do talk about that.
What I do of a morning is, I don't like the taste of it particularly. Some roughage, some oatmeal or something. I get a funnel. I call Margaret down. She comes down when she's been fashioning her pubes, and
brings a pipe.
Sort of and my legs splayed like that.
Okay.
On the head, and she'll pour a load of roughage straight up
down the pipe.
My anus.
Right. And how do you feel?
My health is second to none.
It's never been better. It's never been better. No, it's never been better. I'll be very careful about some of these homeopathic, because some of them is quackery. As I say, if you're trying to stick, if you're trying to put Sillet Bang into a syringe and sticking that in your arm, then I would be careful about that. I would be careful about that.
Doctor.
I'm no doctor. No. It would take a medical man to confirm or deny that. But for me, I mean, I am a doctor, as you know.
Oh, I know you are. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
And
but that was just something you got off the internet, wasn't it? Really?
I got it off the internet, and I would often prescribe people Sillet Bang, because I say I need to get the medicine, but I ain't got the money,
That's
and
right.
I say, well, look, you should. If you look at what Sillet Bang does to surfaces, it gets rid of loads of stuff. So if you just, I say I wouldn't advise everyone to do this. But I think you can take it, right? Yeah. If you just get a load of Sillet Bang, stick it in a syringe, right, and then just stick it in yourself. It should clean your blood. Okay, it should clean your blood, right?
Exactly.
But it's not for everyone.
And that lady died, didn't she? But she didn't get COVID, did she? She died of something else.
She died of toxic poisoning.
Toxic poisoning.
That's right, I believe. Poor cow.
Now look,
wasn't my fault though.
Not your fault. You got the qualification. You got a real certificate off the internet, didn't you? You can prove it.
From Alaska, University of Alaska.
Alaska. Now look, we are going to come. Can we just tell the people we done a thing last night? Didn't we?
Yeah, we done a thing last night called our weekly briefing.
And we're going to come back on Thursday to do it. But
yes,
it was great fun. Last
it was
night.
Good fun, but it's like half an hour and it whips along, doesn't it?
It
whips along.
I wonder whether we could put it on Patreon. Could we, when we get hold of it?
I don't know. I think we could do that.
We could do that. Yeah. For our loyal ones. And we're going to go to Patreon now, aren't we?
We're going to go to Patreon now. Yeah, we're going to do that for the real people.
For the real thing.
So we hope this has helped you.
I really hope it's helped in some way.
It should have done. It should have helped.
It should help, respect the scientists.
Well, that's the key takeaway from this.
That's the key. Respect them, but don't expect too much. They're busy guys, and they might fall down on some of the social niceties.
Yeah, they can be quite eccentric. Okay, just bear that in mind. All right.
Bear that in mind.
But if you do need our fact sheet,
fact sheet, you got it.
Yeah, I've got it here. Respect the scientists, but don't expect too much of them because a lot of them are odd. www./angelosandbarrow.co.uk. Please send that off, and we should get back to you with all the relevant information.
As soon as the lockdown finishes.
Yes.
But keep your scientist stories coming. We always like to hear those.
Like to read those. Yeah.
And until next time.
Next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. We love you all.